Let's talk now about produce. Not every store can have a produce department that includes both vegetables and fruits. Space, equipment, power, costs, and managing the produce is a commitment. But there is a way to do produce in a small store without all of these challenges. Now, produce consists of two major categories: vegetables and fruits. So for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to focus on fruits. Why? Because vegetables need to be cold, which is trimmed. They are highly perishable, they need refrigeration, and they need a lot of management. On the other hand, fruits do not need to be refrigerated. They can be displayed on wonderful tables, bins, and so we're going to talk about fruits. Now, here are some key notes about fruits that I want to talk about, which is really important, and that is fruits look incredible through windows. So there are windows on many of the small stores on both sides of the door. That is a great opportunity to put a beautiful display of fruits, because fruits are very colorful. And apples come in many different colors, and bananas are the yellows, and the oranges are the orange. So you can create wonderful displays of produce in your windows. Now, there's also two different ways to present fruits. There's what is called ordered and unordered. Now, unordered is what you want to do. But I want to tell you the difference, because some folks may want to do ordered. Ordered is when they line the fruits up, the apples up, and they're all in a row, and they're like a pyramid. The problem with that is consumers can be intimidated by that, because if they pull one apple out, the whole thing may fall down. And it takes a lot of time to do that kind of arranging. It looks beautiful, but it's not necessarily the most time efficient. So my suggestion is to have an unordered, which is sort of all the apples sort of together, but they're not perfectly straight. And that's fine. In a small store, that's totally acceptable. And the interesting thing is that tomatoes are very popular. They can be perishable more than perhaps an apple or a banana or an orange, but tomatoes are actually a fruit. And so certain times of the year, tomatoes are great. It's worth putting them out. See if your customers will buy them. Sometimes it's worth asking your customers what they would like to buy, and you could get them for them. Tropical fruits have a great shelf life: mangoes, papayas, pineapples. Those are all great fruits to have. Now, here's something very interesting. Do not store cut flowers near apples, because apples give off a gas, and the gas kills the shelf life of flowers. So if you do carry flowers, keep those flowers away from your produce section. They'll last longer, and they'll last, and even if the customer buys it and it looks good, it won't last as long at home if they're next to the apples. So please keep that away. If you buy, the other thing about apples is the best apples to buy are extra fancy grade, and if they come from Washington State, those are some of the best apples. Now, there's a thing called stone fruit, and stone fruit refers to having pits. And so peaches, apricots, these all are called stone fruit, and they're very good to have certain times of the year. They'll last for a while, but they're a little more perishable than the apples and the bananas and the oranges. But they will last for a while. They don't need refrigeration. You can put them out, and your customers will be very interested in them. Also, bananas. Most people put bananas on their side, but there's a thing called a banana tree. And you'll see some samples of it in the pictures you'll see. And those banana trees work great, because the bananas hang down, and so they don't go dark as fast. They'll last longer, and they'll be more presentable to your customers over a longer period of time. So if you can create a banana tree, they're not very difficult to make. They're also available to buy, and you can hang your bananas from that. Cantaloupe melons are a nice addition. They'll last, their shelf life is good, and they present well. And they sort of follow the idea of watermelons. Watermelons are great during the summer. In fact, I've seen some small stores bring in a whole bin of watermelons, put them right out by the front of their store and sell them right out of the bin. Now, of course, you have to make sure you have the space on the sidewalk to do that, and you have a customer base that basically won't be taking all your watermelons. But I've seen some work very well, and watermelons are a great summer item and people love buying them. And you can also offer watermelons that have been cut. They don't last as long, but they also present extremely well, and you can wrap them with cellophane and just put them out and display them. Cherries are natural for customers to want to buy. Most cherries now you can get in clamshells, these plastic clamshells, and they'll last much longer. Same with grapes. Grapes come in clamshells, the green, the reds, those are all great to put in clamshells. You can stack the clamshells and it increases their shelf life by being in the clamshell. Coconuts, well, those things will last a long time, and they make a nice addition to any produce section, and they're very authentic and natural, and there are customers that love coconuts. Now, there's a few items that aren't necessarily considered fruits, but they work well with fruits. One is dates. Medjool dates are a great item to have. Dehydrated dates are good to have, the good shelf life, and they work really well in produce departments. The other thing too that works well are dried fruits and nuts. You can get dried fruits and nuts in packages and in bags, and you can put them around the produce department, and those work very well and are great complements. Now there's lots of other items you can have. Persimmons. One other item I want to talk about. Many of the stores have alcohol, so it's great to have limes and lemons. The yellow of the lemons, the green of the limes make perfect complements to all the other colors. You can see all the colors we have here. You can do a wonderful display. Again, you don't need to put them in refrigeration, and again, these are things that your customers will appreciate you having, and it'll increase your sales. It'll create more of a natural type feeling to your store, and at the same time it complements any alcohol that you would be selling. The other last item I want to talk about are berries. Now berries also don't need refrigeration. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and they all come in clamshell plastic containers, and you can stack them. But you got to be careful. You got to make sure you rotate them. You got to make sure that you keep your eye on them. You don't want any of them collecting mold, because you'll have to throw those away. So be careful how much you buy, but if you do, they go well with yogurt. They go well with a lot of different other products. So berries are a great addition. So I think those are a few items that we can talk about in produce. Again, we understand if you have a small store, you're limited to what you can do. But I can tell you what, if you have some space and you can create a nice little produce department without having to put refrigeration in, it'll be a wonderful complement to your store. It'll increase your sales overall, and with the right kind of margins and the right kind of pricing, you can make some money on produce as well. So I look forward to seeing more produce departments in stores.